Habitat for Humanity's Women Build empowers women in our community when it comes to building a home from the ground up. But more importantly, the homes built through this project go to help families, kids, and individuals who just need a safe place to call home. Today, we're at this year's site on Slimmin Road, a place that will soon house close to 60 people. But now it's time to start swinging the hammer on today's Go on Shaw TV, so here's a look at what else is coming up. Saskatoon will soon host a professional boxing event. Find out what this means for athletes in our province. And empowering women when it comes to building homes, Janella gets a hands-on experience at the Habitat build site.
Ever watch TV and said to yourself, I could do that? Well, you can. As part of its community access programming, Shaw TV is looking for volunteer-run, community-produced short segments and shows. Create your own program, your ideas, your vision, on television. Bring us your proposal, sell us on it, and we'll train you and your crew, providing the professional equipment you need to make your ideas reality for free. Everyone is welcome. Get involved in making your own community program. See where it takes you. Volunteers have already laid the foundation and are now learning how to build the Habitat for Humanity homes. But before we find out why there are so many women at this build site, Persephone Theatre is also laying the foundation for a new year with the first play of the 2016-2017 season. Simon Hyatt brings us more on Dear Johnny Dear.
Gas was 50 cents a gallon, and they put it in for you.
Fans of musician Fred Eaglesmith will be thrilled to see his songs come to life on stage at Persephone in the coming weeks. However, it was a different story for Eaglesmith himself when the idea for a play based on his music was first suggested.
My understanding is Fred basically said, I don't know anything about theater, I don't care, go do what you want. You have to know Fred a bit to know how dismissive or grumpy he can be. But that's what he did, is he said, go ahead and do it. And he didn't even actually see the show until the second year we did it.
Reportedly, Eaglesmith warmed to the production after seeing Dear Johnny Dear, a relief to Culbertson, who is playing McAllister in the show for the 6th time. He believes the singer appreciated the way the feeling of his songs translated to the stage.
He is from the country himself, so he knows the life. And so when he sings songs about losing the family farm after 30 years on it, you know, he's writing about his own story. And a lot of the songs in here would be from his own experiences.
Got a bottle of rye at home.
You're not that much fun to be around when you drink rye all weekend.
Then how about another case of beer?
It's kind of right up the alley of kind of telling the story of being on the farm and kind of moving away from it and kind of the things that we knew in our childhood kind of falling away and kind of how sad that is.
Andy Treadhart has his own story of leaving life on the prairies behind. Originally from Moose Jaw, he is now based out of Toronto. He's thrilled to return to his home province, but admits the prospect of taking on the lead role, which includes singing and playing instruments, was somewhat daunting.
I was mildly terrified. It's a little bit out of my wheelhouse. I don't do a lot of performing and singing with the guitar, and so I thought, you know, a rule that I've always lived by is if something scares me, then I figure I need to do it.
Saskatoon musician and actress Carrie Catherine plays Caroline, who struggles to keep her marriage to Johnny and the family farm alive.
The marriage is on the rocks. There's lying, there's cheating, and kind of, you know, we kind of go on this journey with Johnny and Caroline and their marriage, and it's pretty heartbreaking to watch.
And while those themes may make it seem like the story is ripped straight from a country song, like Eaglesmith's work, it's a real blend of elements that should appeal to all audiences.
The country people and the city people can both get it and like it and love it, and men and women love it, and younger people and older people, and I think it's really unusual that way, that really it can appeal to, I want to say, just about everybody.
Dear Johnny Dear plays at Persephone through September 28th. For Go on Shaw TV, I'm Simon Hyatt.
That's so sad.
I've got my steel-toed boots on and my hard hat, and we are joined by more than 20 volunteers on Slimmin Road. It is a build site for one of the newest projects through Habitat for Humanity Saskatoon. Joining me right now is Lindsay. Lindsay, this is exciting. It's a beautiful day. There's so many people out here building these homes. Tell us what they're building behind us.
So what you see, we've got these 3 units here are going to be universally accessible units. They are built for families basically to be a blank canvas to meet their mobility needs. So one of the families that's moving in here, the mom has MS, and so as her condition progresses, she'll be able to change the unit to meet her needs. They all have wide doorways, low cupboards, roll-in showers, all that kind of stuff. So.
Very, very cool. Now you mentioned, I mean, it doesn't look like too much right now, but there's going to be more than 50 people who are able to live in these properties.
There'll be 12 houses on this site when they're done. So we've got a 3-unit here, 3 units over here, and then there'll be 6 in the back here that'll be built when these ones are done. Wow. And over 30 children will be living in these houses when they're completed.
Very, very exciting. Of course, all these projects are happening through your Women Build program. It's a program that's been going on for a few years through Habitat for Humanity Saskatoon. Why this program? Why get women out here to the site and learn how to build a home?
It's all about empowering women to be the change, the force of change in their communities. Construction sites are so often male-dominated. That what we do with a Woman Build is we invite everyone to come to our sites, and we make them very friendly for people who have never used a power tool, who've never built a wall or done anything like that. So we get out, the fundraising is all done by women. The teams are mostly women. We've got lots of men who come out and join us. And it's really about, women are the ones who create the change in their community. So it's about empowering to do that.
That's very, very cool. Now we have 2 very special Women Build groups on site today. We have women from the Saskatoon Police Force, which is pretty exciting, and women from RBC. What do you want to say about these 2 organizations? RBC has been a huge supporter of ours for many, many years. They are an awesome partner. We're really happy to have them on board. And it's just wonderful to see a group of women from the Saskatoon Police Force. They're working in a non-traditional environment every day, and then they're out here on a construction site putting those skills to work and having a blast. And what does it mean to those families and those people, those kids who are going to move into these properties?
It means a place to call home. A lot of our families they're spending 70 to 90% of their income on rent right now. So it means healthy food. It means the ability to pay their power bill and their phone bill and their rent all in one day. To maybe spend some time as a family and be able to afford to go to the zoo. The stability to have the same place year after year they're going to come home to, and that's a really incredible thing for our families.
Absolutely. All right, Lindsay, well, I can't wait to get building. What are you going to show me today?
Well, we're doing a lot of framing today, so Ryan has something planned. I don't know what it is. Should be fun.
All right, well, I guess you'll just have to stay tuned and see what power tools I get to use on site here at Slimmin Road, the newest project through Habitat for Humanity's Women Build 2016.
Punch TV, it's the nerdiest show on the airwaves, featuring artists, geeks, and special guests who love comics, toys, and pop culture. Watch Punch TV, only on Shaw TV.
Later on the show, this Saskatoon police sergeant tells us why women from the police force are a part of this year's Women Build, and this refugee expresses her appreciation for her family's Habitat home.
Hey folks, it's Larry Krause here with the Timberline Music Show. Join me and my special guest for a half hour of great music right here on Shaw TV.
The homes built through Habitat for Humanity's Women Build are an exciting beginning for many families here in Saskatoon. And speaking of exciting news, Saskatoon Sports Tourism recently made this announcement.
The At Last Boxing Championship Part 2 will be taking place right here at Prairieland Park on October 22nd, featuring 7 bouts of Battle of Saskatchewan, and the main event is going to be an incredible night of boxing. And to
Community members and Saskatchewan boxers were recently at Prairieland Park for a special Saskatoon sports tourism announcement. On October 22nd, the city will be hosting a professional boxing event. This will be the second boxing card to be held in the province in almost 25 years, says Dennis Page, event promoter and former boxer.
Our goal is to not only bring boxing to Saskatchewan, but to also create an industry in Saskatchewan and here in Saskatoon.
According to Page, the At Last Boxing Championship Part 2 is sure to bring a source of unique entertainment to those who attend, many of whom have been waiting a long time to see boxing in Saskatchewan. Now, with the newly formed Athletics Commission of Saskatchewan, that dream is coming true for both sport goers and the athletes who train around the clock in this art form.
There are a lot of skilled athletes in Saskatchewan. You know, they've been sitting on the couch wishing with their fingers crossed and their toes crossed. Now they have the opportunity to get back in the gym and start doing things. Because there was no boxing in Saskatchewan, they've gone other places to fight. I know that these guys they're professionals. They're professional athletes, and they're going to come out to put on a show for their hometown.
Usually we have about anywhere from 6 to 8 week training camp, but really we train all year round, just trying to improve everything. But yeah, it's definitely a lot of work goes into one night. I'm super excited. I've waited a long time to fight pro in Saskatchewan. I fought here as an amateur, and just with not having a commission for so long, never able to fight in Saskatchewan or in my hometown as a pro.
Page's brother Gregory was a former heavyweight champion boxer who suffered a brain injury but had troubles accessing services to help him and his family cope with his injury. Because of his personal connection to the impact brain injuries can have on a person's life and those around them, Page wants the event to raise people's understanding of brain injuries and how common they can be outside of the ring.
Before going back to Kentucky to help Gregory and his family, I started researching brain injury. And I learned some amazing facts. The first fact that stood out to me was that the majority of individuals affected by brain injury had not received those brain injuries because of a sport. Combat sports are not the only thing that create brain injury. You know, there are people that are falling off of bikes, babies falling out of beds, off the couches, and I think that we need to embrace the idea of the what ifs. I was on my way over here today, and a guy pulled in front of me on a bike without a helmet. He had his backpack on and all of that. What if I would have hit him? He would have hit the ground, brain injury.
A portion of the proceeds from the October boxing event will go to support the Saskatchewan Association for the Rehabilitation of the Brain Injured.
And hopefully after this event, more people become more and more aware of brain injuries and the kind of impact it makes in our world.
Of course, a big part of Women Build through Habitat for Humanity is actually getting your hands in and building parts of this beautiful home. Joining us right now is Site Supervisor Max Keys. Now, he's going to show us how to use a nail gun. I'm so excited. We all know Janella is very good with power tools. I'm not, I'm joking. But Max, I'm in good hands because you're going to show me how to use that. But first I want to talk about your experience here with Women Build and building these properties. You're newer to Habitat for Humanity. You worked with these groups very closely. We have RBC out here. We have women from the Saskatoon Police Force. What's that experience like working with these women, many of whom don't even know how to use a nail gun?
Well, I find that that the experience itself is kind of it's almost like a framing site to a point, but what I have to do every day is show everyone again how to use a circular saw or a nail gun or a chop saw, different tools like that, and you have to go over all the fundamentals of framing every day from scratch. It's a refresher every day for me. So if you compare them to a 19-year-old construction worker, their attitude is really, really good. And I find that a lot with volunteers compared to some of the people I've worked with. They're safer, as well as they try harder. And some of the biggest things is their dedication.
That's pretty impressive. Is it special for you to be a part of Women Build and knowing that these homes are going to go to low-income families?
It is. It actually, you know, to me that actually makes a big difference. My mom was a single mom, and you know, that could have helped her out a lot. You know, with financially, she could have done a lot of other things with her money than, you know, put it all down on a mortgage and so forth. So.
Absolutely. All right, great. Well, let's start something fun here, Max. What do we have? What are we going to build here?
What we're going to do is we're going to finish constructing this landing, and its main purpose is to mainly so we can attach stairs to it to change the angles going up and down to different levels of the house. So again, it's called a landing, and what I'm going to have you do first is just do a practice shot with a nailer, since you've never used one before, just to make sure that you're
Probably
not too
a good
scared
idea.
of it. So.
All right. Nail gun. Okay, right into the floor. You want me to practice, or
just go right on this green line
right
here.
on the green line?
Yep. Okay, and press down on the gun.
Okay.
And pull the trigger.
Woo!
Excellent. Okay.
Good?
Yeah, that's perfect. So try to be careful when you're doing this. So how you have this set up is great, and just make sure it's lined up with this line here. Make sure you're an inch from the top, and press in the nailer and pull the trigger.
All right, here goes.
Again, an inch from the top. So I'll just go.
Can you tell I don't even know what an inch is? How about that?
Again, too, try not to get overexcited when you're doing this if it's your first time. So
that's good?
Yeah, and press in. Pull the trigger. Excellent. Now what I want you to do is put two more, one here and one here.
Okay, two more down the side. About there?
Yeah.
And one more?
One more. Excellent.
Pretty good?
Beautiful.
All right, my first time trying out a nail gun, only here at the Habitat for Humanity Women Build site. Max, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I won't take up any more of your time. I know you have lots of volunteers to coordinate and get building, so we'll be right back after the break. For the first time, women from the Saskatoon Police Force are out at the Habitat for Humanity Build site. It's all a part of Women Build 2016. But before we speak with the sergeant, the Saskatoon Blades are preparing to pay tribute to one of the greatest hockey players of all time, Gordie Howe, as Simon Hyatt tells us in this week's Inside Edge.
If he's going to chop my head off, at least like to watch it. But anyway, I turned and looked, and there he was right there. And he looked at me and he said, "Kid, it's a good thing you're from Saskatchewan."
Former Montreal Canadien Gary Peters recounted his first on-ice encounter with Gordie Howe at a recent event. The story helped drive home the point that although he was a tough guy when playing, Howe had a soft spot for his home province. And the feeling is more than mutual.
He transcended all borders, be it sport, be it community, be it political, anything. People loved him. And I think what resonates with people is this man got into the stratosphere of hockey with his superstardom, but he never forgot who he was.
And while he never played for the Blades, and when he lived here, the spot where their arena stands was still Bald Prairie, the team, building, and man will be forever linked. When the Blades first began planning a tribute to Howe, who passed away June 10th, Hogle learned one of Gordie's final wishes was that his and his wife Colleen's ashes would be interred by his statue.
And so once I lifted the jaw up off the ground, I said, well, let's find a way to make that happen. Not knowing how much red tape there'd be to cut through.
A small area beside the statue had to be officially designated as a cemetery for the request to be carried out. Gordie will come home for the final time September 25th, as the ashes will be interred during a private ceremony prior to the Blades' home opener. During the game, the team will also sport these special tribute jerseys.
We went through more than a dozen versions of it, and part of the process also was finding out who owned the photos, getting permission for the photos, and so we've got a couple of Blades photos in there, we've got a couple of Howe photos in there.
Photos from the local history room and Hockey Hall of Fame round out the design. Further tributes will include decals on Blades helmets and a banner in the rafters. An annual midget hockey scholarship will be named in Howe's honor, as will Circle Drive South Bridge in Saskatoon.
He was really one of the best guys in the world and a great friend. What the Blades are doing is phenomenal. And of course, through the blades, the city, the province, everybody's involved. What a wonderful thing.
For Siga's Inside Edge, I'm Simon Hyatt.
The Saskatoon Police Force are out in the community every day, serving community members in many different ways, and for the first time ever, they are out here, a part of Women Build 2016. Joining me right now is Sergeant Tanya Gresti. Sergeant, why did you want to bring out a group from the police force, a group of women? You mentioned there's 12 participants out here from the police force today. Why get involved in Women Build 2016?
I guess the reason was sort of threefold. We like to look for opportunities to get together as women and sworn members, just to share some time, do some team bonding, that type of thing. Secondly, just being able to be a part of such a great organization, do some volunteer work in the community. That's a strength that women really bring to our service, is our love of our community and being able to get out there and just kind of give back to the people that need. And then thirdly is just to maybe bring a little bit of attention to our service and recruitment. Right now, we are at about 109 sworn female members working, and we're looking to maybe get a little bit more applicants in there for female membership. In 2014, we peaked with our numbers, and we're really strong. And actually, statistically, across Canada, we're one of the highest ranking services for women percent of sworn members, which is great. But we're sort of seeing a bit of a stagnation in that, and we're really trying to look to women to really think about this. If they're looking for some excitement, a way to give back to their communities, this is a great career for women and families, and we're just trying to really put that out there.
Yeah, the police force is somewhat looked at as male-dominated. So is the construction field, which is why this Women Build program is very exciting and empowering for women. What have you learned? I mean, I mentioned it. This is the first time you've been a part of this project.
We're actually all picking up a lot of neat tips. I learned how to crown a stud for making a wall proper and true on the inside of the home. So that's a new tip for me to take home.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's talk about that team building aspect, being around groups of women all day long, building a home collectively like this. How does this really affect and impact your team?
I think it's just a really good opportunity to get together because our service is so large. We don't always all work in the same areas and units together. So to have a reason just to come together and share a Starbucks over trying on our steel-toed boots and our hard hats, we just had lots of laughs in the construction camper there, and just being able to spend the time together is really nice.
So it's been a really good experience for the team?
Fantastic. We'd love to do it again. I'm hoping there's one every year, get a bigger and bigger team.
Yeah, let's talk about the actual Women Build program. What do you think of it being through Habitat for Humanity? What do you think of them putting on a project like this?
Absolutely fantastic. Working on the street, you get a real eye-opener seeing the need for affordable housing for families. And a project like this just can't say enough for the need for it in Saskatoon. I think in a city like ours, we should be pretty proud to get involved with things like this and make it so that there aren't families that are needing or wanting for a better place to live.
Absolutely. So what do you hope these families, when they do move into these units that you put a lot of hard work into, what do you hope they really get from these homes?
I think the important part is they're a part of the build, and so they feel a sense of ownership and pride in their homes, and hopefully they just go forward, happy families making happy memories.
Absolutely. Sergeant Tanya Gresti, thank you so much. We won't take up any more of your time. I know your team needs you back there. We appreciate taking a few moments.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Punch TV, it's the nerdiest show on the airwaves, featuring artists, geeks, and special guests who love comics, toys, and pop culture. Watch Punch TV, only on Shaw TV.
Come summer 2017, these homes will go to help families and individuals in our community. But first, here's some words from a community member whose family recently moved into their Habitat for Humanity home. Habitat for Humanity Saskatoon has helped more than 60 families here in our community. Joining me right now is Sa, and along with her family, they just recently moved into their Habitat home. So that's pretty exciting, isn't it, Sa?
Yes, very exciting.
Very, very exciting. Okay, now, Sa, I want to talk to you a little bit about your background first. I know you came to Canada as a refugee. Tell us a bit about your refugee camp that you came from.
Okay, yeah. Was born in Burma, and I live in a refugee camp in Thai and the Burma border since when I came here. So I lived there for 23 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I moved to Canada. in 2007 in Saskatoon right away. Yeah.
Straight to Saskatoon.
Yes, straight to Saskatoon.
Perfect. And then you met your husband and you had 3 beautiful children. Now let's talk a little bit about the conditions of your refugee camp. What was it like living in a refugee camp?
Yes, it was hard because like nothing, if you compare in here, nothing like in here anymore is 100% different. Yes. Because no more like for food to eat. We just got food from the third country, nothing else to eat. And another thing is for the education is very poor. Sometimes we thinking like a no dream, no nothing. We never thought about to came here. But finally we got in here. So when we first got in a hotel and we start to learn how to sleep in a bed because in a refugee camp we never see something like this situation in here, never before. So everything when we came here we need to learn about to go to school, to take a bus, to go to the bank, shopping and everything. Now we get used to it.
That's right. You got used to it and you actually lived in that apartment with your family. What was it like having a big family like that in a small space?
Yeah, we need to squeeze because it's small, but we have no choice because when we came here, everybody need to rent an apartment because we have no idea how to work or how to get a house or how to get a money. But now it's it's better. Yeah.
I bet it is better because now you and your family have moved into a beautiful Habitat home. How nice is it to have all that space for your family?
Yeah, that's good. That's better for my kids. So more space and you feel like free and we live it's getting better life.
A better life, exactly. And that's the mission of Habitat for Humanity. They want everyone to have a safe, decent place to live. So what does Habitat for Humanity, this organization, what does it mean to you and your family?
It means to me to help me to build my dream and my dream come true. So that is a good program and that is good things to help the family, not just my family, every family who need it.
I feel like I'm on top of the world, but as you can see, this year's Habitat for Humanity homes on Slimmen Road still have a lot of work to do. So if you want to get involved in the project, make sure you get in contact with Habitat for Humanity Saskatoon. Thanks so much for joining us on today's show. I'm your host, Janella Hamilton. Bye-bye for now.